Social worker John Clark this week pressed charges against former ex-sanral CEO Nazir Ali for perjury regarding the Cape Winans toll route. John, why did you press the charges?
Well, because I've been monitoring ex-sanral and Nazir Ali in particular for the better part of 15 years. More specifically with respect to ex-sanral's plans to shorten the N2 route via the Ponderland Wild Coast. Now, I'm a social worker. I've been working with that community quite intensively to try and promote self-reliance and sustainable livelihoods. And that particular road has been a bone of contention long before the Cape Winans one was. And when, in my sort of trying to understand and engage with ex-sanral, I met with Nazir Ali 10 years ago. I've written a book, and one of the chapters describes our interaction, trying to find common ground, trying to find some basis whereby this large infrastructure development could really be a catalyst for development. Because at that stage we were trying to say, let's just reroute that road a bit more inland, because the Wild Coast is wild precisely because it doesn't have large invasive infrastructure. It's now become, as a consequence, a center of global endemism. And I knew about this because I was regularly going on wonderful community-based tourism adventures. And we just felt this would tame the Wild Coast. In my interview with Nazir Ali in 2006, I tried to find some common ground, and interestingly he said to me he was only prepared to consider this route, and was the only feasible route. It so happens it runs very close to the Kolobeni mineral sands projects. Now that is a place where there are reportedly the 10th largest deposit of heavy minerals in the world. And the local community of the Amadiba have been, for 10 years, locked in a real conflict with the South African government, Department of Resources, and an Australian mining company, because they do not want their lands to be mined. ex-sanral are saying there's no connection between the fact that this road happens to pass within a couple of kilometers of those dunes, and I have found that to be just manifestly not true. Partly because what the guys from the mining company have told me, that the government promised them a road. So I believe that Nazir Ali has been untruthful and dishonest. Now that happened in 2004, 2005. When the city of Cape Town took Nazir to court over the Cape Winans Declaration, they found in the process of discovery that no board resolution had ever been taken by ex-sanral board of directors to apply for those roads to be made into toll roads. So effectively, a public-private partnership deal was being brokered, and Nazir Ali took it upon himself to declare them as toll roads. It has ramifications because the minister then had to approve this, and the minister signed off on it. He only had an afternoon to look through 4 lever arch files of documentation. And now that's emerged. And then during the High Court judgment, Judge Bin's Ward and Bokwana basically found that effectively Nazir Ali had made a sworn statement under oath saying that the board had taken a decision, whereas in fact they never did. And he's never withdrawn that statement. So that amounts to perjury. That matter went to the Supreme Court of Appeal, as people know, earlier this year, and ex-sanral's case was dismissed, upheld that judgment, and the judge was particularly scathing about the fact that ex-sanral had basically taken upon themselves, well, Nazir Ali had taken upon himself to declare these as toll roads. And that the version of events he was giving was, so improbable that it could be dismissed. And so we're pushing these charges. Nazir Ali is now retiring. He has retired because we need to set a new standard of accountability. Section 195 of the Constitution obliges state-owned entities and all organs of state to follow certain fundamental principles and values. One of them is transparency. Obviously, ethical honesty and all these sorts of things you take for, it's rare that this would happen.